hope everybody is doing well. Just wanted to do a different video. I tried recording this and then something happened in the recording process. It just crashed. But I just wanted to talk about my record collection, and I want to also talk about what direction I'm going. Everybody hits that moment that they've got their fill of what they want and what they think they need, and then they see something they just absolutely have to have. And then one day they go to eBay and find out that the price is just astronomical. Then you find other websites and other places where you can get some of that music, but not exactly what you want. And then sometimes you say, well, if I buy this one, and this one, then there'll be maybe somebody else will say, these are not in that particular category. I'm going to repost something or relist something or list something that hasn't been listed before. And then geographically, unfortunately, a lot of these things are not super available. And I'm noticing in a lot of listings, USA sellers are not shipping overseas, and overseas are not shipping to the United States. So let's see, what am I talking about here? Here's a record that got it all started recently. And I found this Eunice Hamo Cocktail Bar Original and Ben Macklin mixes from the Anjuna Deep label. And I found that on Discogs for like $10 or something plus shipping. It was absolutely ridiculously cheap. I could have spent easily $40 or $50 on this from the UK or somewhere. It's a UK label here, and there is the back of it. There's a lot of difficulty with the electronic dance music, EDM or trance type music, is because a lot of time, this is from 2008, but the difficulty is a lot of them come in generic sleeves or corporate sleeves such as this one here, and then the listings are not super accurate, and it kind of annoys a lot of people because this is kind of a status symbol for people, and they want to have that set up on their Cadillacs shelves from IKEA and have it set up in their room and kind of display that as kind of like a like I kind of won, I found something cool. And so we'll get into that very quickly here. We'll go here first. I was just listening to A State of Trance. I actually have this Pure Thrust. I don't know if it's a New Energy remix, but I found that at a Goodwill bins, and I didn't realize what a classic that was. I mean, if you just were at a club or something like that, and that would just start playing, and all of a sudden it gets really quiet, and then it goes into, crazy mode, and then everybody starts, they're on a different planet, if that makes any sense. But that's really, really pretty cool. To have that one, and different variant covers and labels and stuff, and that's just kind of one of the other things. I'm just looking up here. Here's Basic Dawn Pure Thrust, and here's the image of said example here. And once you start getting into some of this more specialized type stuff here, there's the cover more or less there. But one of the interesting things about this is, boom, you go, there's $40. 16 for sale from $39.99, $40. And that's quite a bit of money to spend on one album these days, even for a used one. There is supposedly 1,135 people that say they have it in their collection, and there's 1,200 people that want it. There's more people that want it than have it. But those people that want it, are they waiting for the price to come down, or why are they not purchasing it? You would think that just because something is out there and everybody wants it, doesn't mean that they want to have it. That might be very, very far on their want list. That could be like 4,720, on their want list. That could be it, or just maybe not right up there. Maybe they just want it, but they need a better copy of it. Maybe that's what that is. And not every copy that's available. This is just one website, Discogs, right here. I found another one that sells, gives you free shipping if you buy $50 and more. But they also have a much more limited. These are all individuals from all over the world that are selling records, whatever they feel so choose to. Looking up other favorite labels and stuff like that and seeing what they have here. And, unfortunately, when you narrow it down from the world to the United States, sometimes you've got like 300 or 400 or 500 or 600 results. Then you filter out all the CDs and filter out whatever else, and then boom, you've got only like a couple results here. This one here, unfortunately, a lot of people just show whatever generic image there is. See, here's Kiao versus Albert Kiksu, and it looks like a very, very nice label. And then you look at the Just jacket, and you look at the description here. This has a lot of light marks, but plays like a strong VG all day. Writing and some ring wear on jacket. So is the writing on the front or the back? You can also ask the seller, said, dear seller, is the writing on the front or the back? Is the ring wear on both sides? That sort of thing. And $19 plus $5 might be a heck of a deal if you're not looking for a mint record. If you're looking for a mint record, then that's all bets are off. And some of these labels labels are like hundreds, if not thousands of dollars. You know, I got the Anjuna Deep record. This is an Anjuna Beats record, so a little bit different there. And they have multiple colors. It's very basic. If you just go to do this here, let's see. And of course, Anjuna has their own website, and everything almost is always sold out. It's like concert tickets, you know, for certain venues. You know, they're all sold out. I'll just go to here. I'll just show you all the different varieties. And the difficult thing is, it's just like baseball cards. You know, there's different pressings, different varieties, different variants, and you see, like here, they're all different colors here for the labels here. Oliver Smith, there's one of his I'm looking for. And again, what I meant by baseball cards is that they have digital albums and they have digital baseball cards. And sometimes, you know, going through these, you see all these really cool things, and then you try to reach for it, and it turns into thin air, and you can't reach for it because it was never released in a physical format. We'll just click on one of these here. I look up some of these. I looked up this Cirrus single. Let's see. It says there's 6 for sale for $54.45. Well, when you go and click on that, there was one on eBay, I think, for $200. I'm like, oh, $200, that's not what I'm going to spend. But look at this. Here's $89.99. It's about $103.95 total from the United States. $200. Yep, that's $200. Oh, this one's I'm sorry, not in U.S. dollars that I meant. Here's one that's unavailable in the United States. See, so you cannot buy that from the overseas vendor. This is just one site here, but it's like a sports cards forum, or it's like not Sports Collectors Digest, Trading Card Database. They're all very, very good. Jeff Allender's House of Checklists. That's mostly non-sports, but they're all very, very good information. Sometimes they're not complete. You'll find a recording or a card that's not on there. And that's very, very, very difficult. But again, another unavailable in the United States. And that's just kind of unfortunate, because now it limits my, you know, and so if I wanted to go to, if I wanted to look, there's not any available in the United States to purchase, not a single copy there. You know, so if you're worried about getting from, in fact, I have a sports trading card coming from Italy right now. I just, you know, I saw it for a certain price, and I said, you know what, that's $15, $20, $25 cheaper than the next one. And then the next week, of course, there's a whole bunch of piles that show up, you know, different copies. But again, every single copy of that card has to come from Malta or Italy or somewhere, and you know, and the seller looked like a very reputable, didn't look like a reproduction or a copy, so I'm happy to have that one in my collection. And when you get in your collection, it's like, okay, that's just a very basic looking sticker or card, but the soccer market for sports cards is pretty hot right now, for certain ones, and just that's why there's a lot of fakes. Records are not going to be a lot of fakes, because it's so expensive to produce those. You're not going to find a ton of modern bootlegs, as far as I know. But that's just one copy there, and so you get all this wonderful catalog information on this website here, and that gives you an idea what you could eventually be looking for. And then so you just take your old trusty dusty list here, and I like to do it like a lot of the other card guys, the old-fashioned way. You know, people use spreadsheets and that sort of thing, but I like to do is make old-fashioned lists here. This tells me, you know, this one's, you know, Anjuna Beats, or I put Above and Beyond or whatever, and then I'll put Paul Van Dyke, you know, famous DJ. I subscribe to his channel on YouTube. And then I'll say it's Time of Our Lives, and sometimes I'll put a price there, you know, Quadro, Summer Breeze, and I put a question mark there because that's not one I have to have. But it's $6.50, and I think it was $6.50 total, you know, and that's one, you know, here's one, Future Noir Artificial Tears, and this is 25 cents plus $4.58 for shipping, and I think he says, you know, the first 5 records, no additional shipping. So, you know, you can just buy a whole bunch of his 25-cent records and then be done with it. You know, sometimes be a little more polite and buy something for a couple bucks, but you know, when I buy something, if I have a chance, you know, if I'm buying from a vendor and look at the other things, I like to, you know, make it worth their while. I'll just buy a couple of things, because, you know, even if they're not making a lot of money on something, they're moving inventory, and that's what people want to do, is they want to see inventory being moved regardless of how much it is. And then that prompts the seller to add more listings and more listing and more, and then you'll find something that's like, here's file MP3, you know, CDR single, and this tells you, you know, EP or EP single, Stephen J. Cruz. I was just looking up the Stephen Phantasmas. I was just looking that one up here. and that's kind of cool. I'll just go to this one here real quickly and we'll be just about done here. This is not a promotion for Discogs, but it's a way for me to find records and afford them outside of the inside of the United States. See, here's 12 for sale from 11.48. So what we want to do is go to here, and then of course we want to go to lowest price. That's what I always do when I go to COMC. Regardless if you're a COMC purchaser for sports cards, check out my collectibles or whatever it's called. It's great information because even if you buy nothing, you can see what copies of cards and albums and that sort of thing are available to you. And if you see like dozens of copies, then it's like, well, gee, there's so many copies out here. Maybe somebody collected the whole run of them, but more than likely you can be able to find one any day of the week for whatever price you want. And so we want to go to, here's the one I was looking at here. But it says no OG sleeve. And see, is this the OG sleeve that they're talking about? But why would they show that in the listing here? So essentially what I'd have to do is, dear seller, I'm interested in this album. Does it come in a white plain, or does it come in a corporate sleeve? They may not understand that this particular sleeve is the correct sleeve, if that's what that is. You know, a lot of times, you know, there is a big discussion online. Just type in company sleeve or something like that, and Discogs or whatever, or you don't even have to type in Discogs. And there was a big thread of like what consists of because there's a lot of people that collect electronic music, and they're very disappointed that it doesn't come with the correct cover. I know the first one I bought showed this picture here, and I made that as a Christmas present, and I really wanted to display that. And then that went on to a tear trying to find one of these covers, and I finally did in that first one I showed you at the beginning of the video. So this is the direction I'm going, because I have just about every rock and country and folk and whatever genre you can think of. I just have all of that, and that's what prompted this kind of little side piecey here, just to kind of bring my collection to a different level. I wouldn't say to a more discerning level, but something that you're not going to find in every U.S. collection. You know, if you see a video with another Beatles album, it's Beatles. You know, everybody collects Beatles at some point, and they'll have one or two in their collection. But nobody has Stephen J. Cruz in their collection except for a few DJs overseas. And that is what I have for you. Let me know if that did anything for you, and thank you for watching.